everybody.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, this is Haiti from Florida Paranormal Investigators,
Bill from That Was Spooky.
and today's guest is Charles. Charles, go introduce yourself.
Oh, go ahead. I thought there was a pause there. I thought we were doing it. No, please. Go ahead. You're the hosts.
So we have Charles from Salem Paranormal and Horror Convention, which is this weekend. Exciting. I wish we were up north for it. Salem is one of my favorite places to go to. Love it.
Like the only reason to be north is the
Well, I used to live in New Jersey, so
talk about scary. Anyway.
Yes.
Hey, Harley. Hey, Joseph.
Hey. Got some people chiming in.
Oops.
Bill hiding himself. So, Charles, tell us about, you're an author. You have 2 books out, correct?
Yeah, well, 3 books, but 2 genre books.
Okay.
The book of top 10 horror lists.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm a horror guy from when I was a kid, monster movies and stuff, and the true ghost stories of Connecticut.
That's cool.
Came out about a year ago.
And are those like your personal experiences or a collection of stories you've gathered?
Both. So having done a few of the paranormal conventions, I was coming in, contact with people, and they would always say, "Oh man, I have hundreds of stories I could share with you." And I thought, well, I don't want 100 stories. Give me that one. Give me the one that makes you go, "Oh my God." That's the one I wanted. And I thought that would make for a great book, unlike your typical, Ghosts of Tampa, Ghosts of Connecticut, Ghosts of whatever they have, which tells you, maybe 10 or 15 places, their history and why they're haunted. In that book, it gives stories. It tells you what happened at these haunted places. Cool. It's really funny because in putting together the book, I had forgotten that I had a few things happen to me like back in college, and it was really cathartic for me to put this book together because I was able to put more recent paranormal occurrences, but also something that I probably had a suppressed memory of, forgotten completely about. And when I do a lot of book lecture author things at libraries, and I read from my book obviously, but I tell the story of what happened when I was in college, and it's like people say, how could you have forgotten that? And it's funny because I had the experience with a friend who I went to college with, hadn't spoken to him in years, found him on Facebook, shared the story with him and said, "Hey, have I gotten this right? I don't want to make any mistakes. Is this how you remember it too?" And he said, "Well, yeah, verbatim, it's exactly how it happened." But he had forgotten about it too. So I brought it up. He hadn't. So I don't know how that happens. But anyway, yes, I'm an author. I've got 2 cool books out. One is on ghost stories and one's on horror movies.
Okay. Nice. And what's your top horror movie that you have listed in the book?
Well, it's funny because it's not, in that case, it's not it's actually 100 celebrities gave me their favorite horror themes, William Shatner, one of the Beatles, one of the Monkees. It's just a really cool book. Boris Karloff's daughter, amazing people. So when I finished the book and I presented it to my editor, they go, "Well, Charles, where's your list?" And I can't put in a list. You have to. You can't put out the book without putting in your list. And I thought I got really cheeky, guys. And this wasn't ego. This was just the way to kind of get out of actually not doing what most of the 100 celebrities did their favorite horror movies. I put the top 10 favorite films that I was in as an extra, where I got I've been in a bunch of horror movies and a lot of cool. I got a lot of cool credits out there.
What's your favorite horror movie that you're in? That's really cool.
It came out like a year or 2 ago. Night at the Eagle Inn, where I play a cross-dressing debutante, which I don't know how they cast me as that, but it was great. Also, The Sadist with Tom Savini. Really big name in horror. But my favorite non-horror role is I got to play. Do you guys remember HBO's Flight of the Conchords?
Yeah.
Yes.
In the
Yes.
second season, there's a show called Prime Minister, and there's two Elton Johns. It's Patton Oswalt and me. We're the two Elton Johns. So
Oh my God,
Nice.
that's so cool.
that's my favorite non-horror, non-genre, non-monster credit. But if I had to pick one, it's really crazy because when I look at all the top 10 horror lists, what we did is we picked the top 10 of the top 10. Which ones were picked the most? So before I tell you, I need you guys to guess which came in at number one and what your favorite is.
Well, my guess for number one, Dracula.
Yeah, the original 1931 with Bella.
Bram Stoker's.
Oh, Bram Stoker. Gotcha. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a good one.
That's good.
That's a good one. See, I like the Poltergeist films,
Yeah.
like the original Poltergeist. That's one of my
Those,
favorites.
so those are the ones you like. Now guess which one came in number one.
Ooh.
There's so many to pick from.
I know.
The original, Harley said the original Carrie movie.
Oh, great one. Great one. So what I'm going to do first before I tell you is I'm going to see who picked the Poltergeist one first.
Okay.
So that was picked by Tiffany Shepis, who's a scream queen, horror movie gal.
Oh, awesome.
Pete Best, the original drummer of the Beatles. Donna Loren, who was one of those bikini girls in all those movies.
Mhm.
And let's look at Bram Stoker's Dracula and see who picked that one too. And then I'll give away the actual Bram Stoker's Dracula, picked by Elliot Easton, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame guitarist of the Cars.
Okay.
And a lot of people. But no, the number one, guys, was The Exorcist.
I was gonna say
Exorcist.
that next too. That was like right there.
Number two, Psycho. Number three, The Shining. And then a lot of classics: Frankenstein, Dracula, Night of the Living Dead, Rosemary's Baby, Alien. So it's always a good thing when I do if I do a library talk on that, I'll go around the room and I'll ask everyone their favorite movies, and it really depends on the demographic of the room. If they're older, they skew towards Wolfman and Dracula and Psycho, and if they're younger, it's all of a sudden it's Get Out or whatever's
the more recent ones.
So many. But I started out loving the monster movies and being, what we call a horror kid. I would get all these old like monster magazines,
Oh, that's cool.
and I would build all the monster models. But a few years back, I was running a haunted attraction in Connecticut. It's Connecticut's largest indoor haunted house. And I would act. I would welcome people at the door, and a guy comes in and tells me the place is haunted, right? And I go, well, yeah, thank you. I must have done a good job. He goes, no, dude, this place is haunted. Well, after a few times of him insisting that it was, and me rolling my eyes and thinking, ooh, well, it turned out we found out that it was built on Native American burial ground, and the things that we heard, clinking in the night the place might have been haunted. But he really got me. I give him credit for getting me into more of the paranormal field. And having produced Beatles conventions and rock conventions and going to horror conventions all my life, he said, let's do a paranormal convention. There isn't one in Connecticut. And we did. And it was very successful. It was right after COVID. We thought there would be, I don't know, 100 or 200 people. We had almost 2,000 people.
Oh my God.
That's very good.
Yeah,
people are ready to be out.
Yeah.
We were ready to be out, and it was there was a need for it. It was mind opening.
You should come down to Florida because there's not enough Paracons in Florida.
That's true.
That's for sure.
They flew me out to be at one called Horrorville, which was a horror and paranormal show. It was Central Florida. I'm not really sure where the event was, and it wasn't well attended. Now you never know. I think, well, is it the area? or was it not promoted well? You never really know. But I'm coming out. When are we having our show? The three of us. Let's produce one.
Hell yeah! You just let me
anytime.
know. We'll get something together for you. That's for sure.
Do it in the dead of winter when everyone wants to get away.
Yes.
But that led to him and I doing a lot of paranormal investigations throughout the state, to the point where we got like an every other month kind of deal. We'd take people out to dinner first. We would teach them how to use the paranormal equipment, do an orientation. I would try my best to sell a few of my books, and then we would go to the haunted places, and we always got amazing results. We went out as the shaman and the showman. Guess who was the showman?
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
And so we've since split, and now I have other people who are my shamans, and we're forging forward with the conventions and with the paranormal events, and I do psychic fairs. But the big one, of course, is the one this weekend. It's the Salem Paranormal and Horror Convention in Salem, Massachusetts, and it's just the ultimate place, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Is this going to be a yearly? Because if that's the case, I'm definitely going to come up next year.
It's the second year. Last year we had a lot of cool paranormal guests, but not really a lot of horror guests. One or two, like someone who was in Fear of the Living Dead, But this year we've got two of the actors from Friday the 13th Part 2, and we've got Tara Buckman, who was in Silent Night, Deadly Night, and Extro, and Freddy's Nightmare. So that gives me my jollies. I got my horror people, and then across the board, it's like a who's who of New England paranormal people, and even beyond. We've got people coming from all over who are giving stage time too, but then they'll all be at their tables signing autographs and pushing their books and just talking. Yeah. It's just such a great event. We do it a lot differently than a lot of the conventions. Some of the conventions will go like to a haunted place, and if it's a 3-level hotel, they'll have guests on one level, vendors are another, and then on the top floor, maybe the guest speakers talking. We have everything in one room. The stage is in the room, the vendors are in the room, the guests are in the room. And yes, you can't stay, but you want to stop by. Oh, I thought they're talking about the convention. They're talking about the
Everybody's
show.
just coming in and saying hi.
Yes.
But that's really cool.
Yeah, and we've got the OG of mind readers. When you think paranormal, certainly if you're from Connecticut, you think of the Warrens.
Yeah.
And of course they begot the whole Conjuring and Annabelle and all that stuff. You think magic, you think of Houdini. When you think of mentalism, if you're of a certain age, I know you kids maybe not, but there's the amazing Kreskin, who used to be on the Johnny Carson show, the Late Show. When you would mention, oh, I can read your mind, Kreskin was the pop culture name that would come up. And the guy's not young, but he's a legacy artist, and we're bringing him in to be at a table to sign as long as he can. Hopefully, he can last, because we also are doing a legacy show for him in one of the classrooms at the university. 40 people only. First 40 people buy tickets are going to get to see him do his original mind reading act. And it's really fun. It's really fun. You guys will get a kick out of this. The man's been doing it, I don't know, 60 years probably. He used to do 300 shows a year. So thousands and thousands of these performances. And when you write him a check, you put it in an envelope, his fee, his honorarium, and you hide it in the room. And if he doesn't find it, he doesn't get paid.
What?
And guess what?
Oh my God.
He's never not found it.
Really?
That's really cool. I used to love, like, as a kid, watching those like mentalists. Like, they used to put them a lot on TV, and it'd be like, oh, think of a number, and like you're home thinking of a number, and then like the guy on TV said, we're like, what?
Well, there's a trick.
Bring that back.
I'm going to let you in on a trick with that one. The number thing is usually pick an odd number between 1 and 100, and you can't repeat it. Okay? Right? So you guys both have your number?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. Haiti, go first.
Do I say my number?
Say your number. I've got it here.
90
I wrote it. See if I get it right.
97.
97 is a good one. Bill?
37.
37 is the one that 99%
wow.
of the people will pick.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm the oddball.
So when some of the mentalism guys, they have a trick. I just gave away a trick. Shame on me. But usually, if you pick a number between 1 and 10, it's going to be 3 or 7. There's certain numbers that the mind will gravitate to. But how they can find a hidden envelope in a room,
that's pretty crazy.
How we can point to someone and know their name or know their mother's name or know their birth date or things like that. It's just amazing. He'll go up to somebody and ask them, shake your pocket, and he'll tell you to the penny how much change is in their pocket.
Oh, wow.
And that's, I don't think it's mentalism. I think it's, an astute ear and knowing. I don't know. Maybe I don't know the answer to that one because I can't figure most of the things he does. I can't figure out. I try to find scientific reasons, and there aren't always.
Do you think that some maybe have like psychic abilities, perhaps?
Yeah, well, that's a big part of it. Yeah, I mean, I'm always looking for the trick. See, when I'm the showman of the shaman and the showman, my role is to be the skeptic. I walk in as the non-believer. And then I take pictures and I tell people I can't be that anymore because I'm not someone who has a sixth sense or a third eye or, I'm not a medium. But guys, I take pictures and I continually surprise myself and prove that there's psychic stuff and it's not just, tricks and all that. The cover of my book, True Ghost Stories of Connecticut, I'll share with you. I took about 20, 30 pictures of this doorway. This was an old opera house that had been shuttered for years. We got in. The local TV news came because it was such a big deal that we got in there. And they said, take a picture of the balcony up there. No one's allowed up there. It was condemned and all that. But there was one doorway that had a light shining through it. And I took a ton of photos. And in one photo, there's that shadow figure in just one photo.
That's
so I have a lot of luck with photos. And in answer to your question, of course, much of it is psychic ability. But the Penn and Teller in me is always trying to find out, this guy's a trick. What's the trick?
Yeah.
Right. Sleight of hand.
So what got you started in the horror genre? Is this something you always wanted to do when you were a kid, or did you?
So I grew up loving, until I discovered girls, I grew up loving three things. The Beatles, baseball, and monsters. And it was because of Mom. Mom sat me down, made me watch Bride of Frankenstein. And I remember it so vividly because the first night I ran out of the room. I was like, 3 or 4 years old. She wanted me to love the things she loved. My parents always, were into a lot of cool stuff like that. So the second night she was smarter. She turned on the lights. She threw blankets over us. She made warm milk and popcorn. And I watched it like this, but I watched it again the third night like this. And by the fourth night, I was hooked. And from that point on, Mom, where's the next one? When can we see? And we went Dracula, every possible monster movie, to the point that now with my kids, if a horror movie comes out, I can't watch it without them, and vice versa. We have to we make time where we can all go to the movies together when it comes out. And if it goes right to streaming, it's like, oh wait, we got to see this on such and such a night. It's actually in the calendar when we're gonna see stuff that comes out.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool. Yeah,
it's cool that you can have something to share with your the love of it, with your whole family that you have.
Yes, and it's really funny because they've gotten so much better at assessing movies than I have. I'm like, I loved it, and they're like, how could you? The biggest example was the new Exorcist movie, and I'm like third of the way through loving it. and then it really does go downhill. It's trash. It really sucks. It was so unfortunate because I expected so much. And then we get home and, okay, let's rate it. We can't rate it while we're in there. We can't talk about it while it's on. When it's done, this is our, protocol. Well, what do you give it? I give it a 6 because, the first third of it was like a 9 for me. And then it went downhill and they freaked out. A 6. That was a 2, a 3 the most. They hated it so much. And these were kids, growing up, every animated movie was a 10. Everything we ever saw was a 10. They've gotten to be such now astute critics that I have to be thoughtful of what grade I give because they're going to rip me apart sometimes.
Are they also going to be, are they helping out with the Paracon and everything too?
They can't because one's in a freshman college, one's senior high school, so they're overloaded with stuff. But they help with everything I do. They do the graphics, they do videos, they do so much. This was the first time because they're so overwhelmed that I actually have like a web designer who's been doing a lot of the promo reels and stuff. Shout out to Melissa Sarfine, who's been doing a phenomenal job on all the graphics. I mean, where we've come from last year and past conventions to this year in terms of guests, in terms of the quality of the visuals and the promotional stuff is like just way above what we've ever done before. So give her a lot of credit for that. And just the fact that, we have, when you have a lot of quality guests and amazing vendors, it's easier. Yeah. You've got a better, I don't want to say better product, but a better a place to attend. There's much more to look forward to and more incentive to come to a convention. I was one of these guys that if there was a horror convention, I didn't even look at the guests. I wanted to go to a horror convention. If they were going to show they're going to show a film, that's great. If they're going to have vendors selling the stuff I love, great. And if there's guests, well, phew, that's gravy on top. I think now most people are a little spoiled and they're like, wait, who's the guest? Oh, it's not, such and such. I'm not going to go to that one. So we had to get some franchise Friday the 13th guests, some really, names. And so we have that nice mix of, paranormal and the horror people. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's exciting. That's
exciting. Sounds like
and
a lot of fun.
It's all weekend from.
Yep. Saturday starts at the early bird. We had to do an early bird. People want to get in and get to the vendors first and get to the stars first and get front row seats. So we have a 10 a.m. early bird, which is only $5 more than the general admission, which is at 11. We only charge $19.99 at the door, and in advance we're really reasonable. And it's from till 6 p.m. So general admission from 11 to 6, VIP from 10 a.m. to 6. And then Saturday night, the added bonus was the Kreskin Legacy performance at 7:30 for an hour. Right at the really cool. So give people a chance at 6 o'clock, to run to get something to eat or go to the bathroom, whatever they need to do for an hour and a half. And then come back for an actual show. And then Sunday, we do it again. Sunday, it's the same hours. So Saturday and Sunday, 2 days. A lot of the events, a lot of paranormal conventions, a lot of paracons tend to be one day. And in fact, the Connecticut show we do, which is PARACONN with 2 N's, we do that. We had our 3rd one this year. We always have it in the summer. We have it at this old armory. And it's gotten too hot to have it in there. The vendors started to complain, can we move it? So we moved it to May and didn't realize when we moved it a year in advance that it was Mother's Day weekend. So we wound up
I mean, that would be a great Mother's Day gift for me. But
right, that's what I thought. But we had like 500 tickets sold for the Saturday and like 12 sold for the Sunday. So we canned the Sunday, made it a one-day show, and now we're a little more astute about looking forward at the calendar.
Oh, that's awesome!
There's so much of it. There's a lot of conventions. New Jersey, there's another Connecticut, Paragon. So you have to really be on top of not having an event when it's close to another event. I mean,
yeah. I think I ran into a couple where it was like the same weekend. And it was like, oh no.
That's hard for vendors, and it's hard for
Yeah.
attendees, to make them choose. And it seems like every convention you look at is in October, and I get it. It's Halloween, and in Salem, for me, I think that's the worst time.
That is the worst.
Yeah.
Time.
It's like putting on an event in Times Square in New York on New Year's Eve. It's it's overwhelming.
That would be crazy.
Well, because there's no place to park. You have to wait hours to get into a restaurant. Hotels are triple, quadruple what they normally are during Halloween.
I avoid Salem during like the month of October because of how crazy it gets.
So
it sounds so awesome, though.
Yeah, well,
it does until like you have to drive anywhere.
You have to do it once. You have to do Mardi Gras, in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Those are things you have to do once. And then you realize, well, if I really want to see the city and get the most out of it, I got to come back, spend more time, and do all the things that I can fit in without, a million people there. Well, that's why we picked, November 11th and 12th for PARACON in Salem, because it's the craziness is done. It's 2 weeks away from Halloween. All the vendors need something else to do because they've shot their load during Halloween. It gives the fans a chance to come in a day early, stay a day late, go to the witch museums, do all the things that they'd like to do in the city, and also then love the convention. So I think it makes sense, and the fact that hopefully we'll have a million people there for just the convention, so hopefully we'll be right about it.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing to do in Salem?
So I just want to do like event after event after event on one day. So all the museums, and then the next day I love the shopping. They have an amazing comic book, and they have amazing pop culture shops, and they have the hex shops and the places where you can get amazing paranormal books and paranormal gear and everything you can think of, whether it's witchcraft, whether it's ghost, it's there. It's
have it all.
Yeah, they have it all. And then at night, there's a lot of great dining and clubbing in the area. It's a really cool town. Salem is awesome. I've never heard someone say, "I've been to Salem. Oh, I'm never going back there." You never hear that. You just say, you hear them say, "I love Salem, and I can't wait to go back."
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I can't wait. And it's funny because I made the mistake of doing all the shopping first and left no time for I did like one tour, and then I'm like, oh my God, I have to go back just to do the museums because we've got no time.
And there's so many great tours. I mean, Spellbound, you can go, if you Google Salem walking tours, there's like a dozen of them. And most of them, revolve around the witch trials. But so many of them also, know the haunted places. And when you get a great tour guide on one of those ghost tours, whether it's the Ghost Walk of Tallahassee or the Ghost Walk of Kentucky, whatever it is, if you get a really kick-ass tour guide, oh man, those are so much fun because they know their stuff, they've got their script down, and they play off the crowd.
You used to do tours, or you still do tours?
So believe it or not, this was our 25th year of doing Dracula tours to Transylvania, guys. That's the real deal. We bring people to Romania, and it's a 1 week.
Serious? Oh my God, that would be so awesome.
It's their 1 week trip, which we fly together as a group. I don't go. I went for 12 years. Because I'm so involved in all the events here, during Halloween and all these conventions. So I have Radu, who's my historian from Romania, who went on trips with me for 12 years. He was always the historian. He was the one who knew the history of Vlad Tepes, Vlad the Impaler. Yeah. So he would do that part. And I would do the Dracula part, following in the footsteps of Bram Stoker's Dracula novel. And he was able to understand the connection and to meld the two so that people who go get the best of both worlds. They get the fiction, the lore, the fun of Dracula, with the history, the reality, the brutality of Vlad, and the people who go just, oh my God, have the greatest
How
time.
often do those tours happen? Are they like once a year or a couple
So
times?
for about 20 years, we were doing them twice a year. We would do it during Halloween week, obviously. And then we would do a summer version for all the haunt people, all the teachers, all the student people who couldn't go during October, November. And since COVID, we eliminated the summer version because people travel in the number. I mean, we used to do 2 buses. We would have 100, 120 people.
Wow.
And now it's a lot more, a lot more comfortable for the people. It's 20, 30. This year we actually had our smallest group, but it was the first time we had a group since COVID. But if people want to come to Transylvania on the ultimate vampire vacation, www.dractours.com is the website, dractours.com.
DracTours.com.
There it
I'm
is.
write it in the chat.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
There's me.
That sounds so fun.
There's me with the group in my persona. This is my chiller Chucky, Gripmaster Chucky look.
I love it.
I am a character,
Yeah.
Fun guy.
So I know you're a big monster guy. What is your all-time favorite monster?
That's a great question. Okay, I think I'm going to go with Frankenstein.
Frankenstein?
Yeah, but Frankenstein's monster, because you have to be precise there. If it's Frankenstein, it's Dr. Frankenstein. And it's crazy because when people ask me my favorite horror movie, as we did earlier, and I always gravitate towards The Exorcist. But after that, it gets tougher. And people are surprised when I tell them that my second favorite might be a comedy called Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. Because it's just, it's one of those universal monsters where you get Frankenstein, you get Dracula, you get the Wolfman, and you get comedy with it. And that's sort of me, there's always that smile and that laughter behind everything I do. I was telling someone the other day, what's different about your conventions? And I said, me. And they didn't know what I meant. And I said, well, I co-host the event. I'm on the stage. I'm schmoozing with the crowd. But I try to welcome everyone as they come in. And when they leave, I thank them for coming. And I don't know if other convention producers do that. Maybe, maybe everyone does it. I've never seen it before. I think that adds something to it. And I don't know.
It's more personal, I think. And I think nice personal touch. That's also
Yeah. And
makes me feel like
where I'm like, I don't know who runs this. Or like,
they're in an office somewhere. Like and that was a big success of the Dracula tours. And I don't know if I think it's less than we used to have because of COVID and traveling, and the price has gone up. I gotta tell you, I know when I was on the trips, I made sure each and every person, I would walk them to the room to check in. When we were on the coach, if there was a 2-hour drive, I would whip out a DVD to watch a movie. I'm hoping we still do that. And I'm not sure. As I'm sitting here thinking, I'm wondering if my tour guide and host still do those kind of things. I'm guessing they do. But when you have a personal touch to something, it's so lacking in this world. I mean, this is a bigger picture, when we get serious here. But I think, it goes a long ways. I wish more people, cared about other people and were a little nicer and did that kind of thing, because it makes whatever the experience is more pleasurable and more enjoyable. We've done so many conventions and so many tours, and such good vibes. People send Halloween and Christmas cards afterwards. We're still all Facebook friends, and we all keep in touch.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that has a lot to do with. I'd like to think, my personality and the fact that I really care as much as I do. A lot of it is when I go to a convention, I have a great time. When I put on a convention, I want to give them what I would want at my show.
Yeah.
And so I'm the barometer. I'm the criteria for how I do events, and it's been pretty successful. Thank goodness.
Yeah, I think it with the whole personal touch. I used to love going to like the smaller, like especially like Comic-Con conventions, not the big Jacob Javits Center like big thing. I
Yeah.
like the smaller ones because you know what was great about it? The like a lot of these newer like comics and stuff like that, they
Yeah.
literally remembered me the next year and they're like, "Oh, hey, we saw you last year." And I'm like, "Yes." So like, "Hey." And it's like you
Yes.
have to build like a relationship with you know, everybody there and it's like it's nice because it's more personal than like going to Jacob Javits where you can barely get to the table because it's so crowded. They definitely like oversell those tickets.
Yes. Yeah. And I get it. I mean, if you're the promoter and you want to be at that level and you're bringing in guests that you're paying a fortune for and paying for their flights and their hotel and a per diem, you have to have that quantity of people or you're
Yeah.
charging, you're charging $500 a ticket and that's not going to fly. If you're a Comic-Con person, I'm going to share with you my dilemma. I had a comic book artist call me and said he wanted to set up at the Paracon in Salem. I
Yeah.
go, okay, well, okay. But you understand it's a horror convention, it's a paranormal convention, not a Comic-Con. And this guy has amazing credits. I mean, he's done Marvel, he's done DC, he's drawn more Spider-Man #1, been the artist for more than anyone else on the planet. And I go,
oh wow,
I'm asking him, why do you think you'll do well at this? He goes, well, I worked on a comic with Kreskin in it, and I've got that comic I can bring. You're there. I said, you got coming. You're free table, you're a special guest, you got it. So Joe St. Pierre, worldwide known great comic artist. I don't even mention him when I talk about all our guests. He's not even on our flyer because it's so new. We just added him to the convention, so I thought you would appreciate that.
Oh, that's awesome. Nice. That's really cool. And that's cool that he worked with Kreskin too, like worked together. And
I'd never known there was a Kreskin comic, and it's very cool.
That's awesome. Hopefully he's gonna be showcasing that one there too, right?
Amongst all his art, that's definitely gonna be there. Yeah, I said save me a copy. There's your deal. I'll get him to sign it, and I'll get Kreskin to sign it.
There you go.
Yep, you gotta frame it. Frame it up. I did that with my G.I. Joe comics with Larry Hama signed it. I was like, okay, it's signed and it's going straight to the picture frame. Gonna put it up.
As I wanted to tell you, I love your intro to the show.
Oh, thank you.
Who designed? Who edited that? Who put that together?
I did.
That
Over here.
It's backwards.
I loved it. It really got me in the mood, and I want to watch you guys all the time. Just
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's our whole idea of like combining, like breaking that barrier that sometimes the paranormal field has, and going beyond, just beyond the, the typical ghost spirits and everything like that. So
yes, yeah.
And giving it a cool, creepy effect.
Definitely. It touched on everything. It was really awesome. Great intro.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Let me actually pull up your flyer so everybody can see all the great guests and stuff you're gonna have.
Yes, please.
And the details. Here that is. Let me see if I can. So here. There we go. I think that's as big as that's going to get. So here at 2023 Salem Paranormal Horror Convention, all these great guest appearances. You have a great lineup.
Really cool lineup. And if people want and they go to the website, they can we just posted the schedule when we're on stage. And we also posted all the vendors because that a convention, there's no convention without the vendors. We have amazing ones. There's readers, there's tarot card, there's crystals, there's artists and candle makers. It's just like the cross, you name it, it's there. From monster merch, horror stuff, straight on through everything. One person's bringing, paranormal equipment to use. But if we can, take a second and focus on some of these guests, because I'm really proud of them. I'm looking at it here as we are too. As we mentioned, we've got the legacy guest from Friday the 13th. We've got the amazing Kreskin, Tara Buckman. Well, even though I mentioned, her horror credits, she's probably better known for the movie The Cannonball Run. She was one of the two babes, her and Adrienne Barbeau, who alongside of Burt Reynolds and all those amazing actors in that movie. And then if you go down to all the paranormal guests, it's literally a who's who. I said New England before, but East Coast, paranormal peeps. And they're just, it's amazing. Each one of them brings their own level of what their expertise is, whether it's demonology, whether it's a Ouija board expert, spiritualists. And what we find is at these conventions, there's a lot of people who come who have scenarios, I'll get serious for a while, might have a scenario in their home or in their workplace or mom's house, whatever the case may be. And they need guidance, and they come to the convention. And what I love is I don't have that ability, but so many of our guests do. And they'll say when, where, and they'll no charge. I love that. And I don't know if that's universal in this para world, but I love the fact that, we make money when we do events. We make money when we sell stuff. But if someone's in need, the fact that we go out and, hopefully help cross over.
That's what our team goes by. We don't charge residentials ever. Right. Try to help them as much as we can.
Absolutely.
So, and it's great because these events do bring out, I guess a safe space for some of these homeowners and stuff to go to a team and talk to them about what's going on in their home. So that's really
a safe place where they're not. Where else are they going to do? Are they going to go through the yellow pages? Are they going to go online and say, who are you going to call? You're not going to trust someone off there. But if you see someone and you get a good vibe, and that's who you'll trust in your home. It makes sense. But, the majority of the people who come aren't that. The majority are people who are like-minded, who might be a medium, who might want to, learn more about the paranormal, want to learn more about equipment. And then there's that segment that's coming because they want the autographs. So it appeals to everyone.
Yeah.
And that's what we try to do.
That's really cool. Oh, someone Ghostbusters.
Sorry. Set you up for that. And I think they just announced a new sequel, by the way.
To Ghostbusters?
I did also post SalemParaCon.org is the website, correct?
Yes, it is. It is.
Okay.
SalemParaCon.org. And if you
Make
go
sure
there,
everybody go on, check it out.
The schedule, all the guests, all the vendors, everything is there. And the one for the Dracula tour was DracTours, DracTours.com. For my books, if I can throw in a plug.
Throw it
just go by my last name. Where is that? Right there. And go to Amazon, and all my books will come up. But if you want to, if you want to get a personal, signed copy, unfortunately, got to give you the websites for those. And it's for the Book of Top 10 Horror Lists. It's book-of-top-10-horrorlists.com. So it's really easy. Take away the Book of Top 10, not TEN, Book of Top 10 horrorlists.com. And for the true ghost stories of Connecticut, you don't have to be in Connecticut to love the book. You just have to love ghost stories. And for that one, it's www.paranormalconnecticut.com, which we'll probably use for other events, but for now, that's what we're using for the book. Paranormal Connecticut spelled out .com.
Connecticut. I'm putting the links for them on the.
Great, appreciate it.
Paranormal Connecticut. I'm sorry, what was it?
.com.
.com. Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to pull it up. I can't spell Connecticut. I'll let you take care of that one.
CONN Connecticut.
I always go Connecticut is how you spell
Connecticut. Yeah. First you connect, and then I cut, and it's bringing a slasher movie to them. I'm going to be in another film that's coming out not too long from now. I don't know if they've announced a release date. It's called Founders Day. I think it's a slasher film, if I'm not mistaken. And I just have a cameo. I'm part of a crowd scene.
Oh, okay, cool.
A little crazy, yeah.
That's really cool.
Awesome.
That's pretty awesome. Oh, okay. I put all the links. And are you a Connecticut native or?
Most of my life. I was born and raised, and this is scarier than Jersey. I was born and raised in the Bronx.
Oh, okay. That is scarier than Jersey.
But came here when I was 10. So, yeah, I've lived in New Haven are of Connecticut most of my life, not far from Yale University. And that's where I, pretty much established all the things I do. I've done events in Jersey. I've done events in other places. I do tours. We mentioned the Dracula tour, but I brought ghost tours. Ready for this? Ireland, Scotland, Romania, Hungary, Eastern Europe, Eastern Germany, Prague, Israel, Cuba, and I think I'm forgetting one. We've done ghost tours to those as an offshoot from the Dracula tours, because people were going on those tours, having such a great time and saying, Charles, where else can we go? Where do you want to go? England? Okay.
You traveled like everywhere.
I've been around. Yeah. I've been to a lot of places.
Awesome. What is Transylvania definitely must be amazing, but what are your other favorite locations you've been to do the ghost tours?
Scotland was great because every castle was.
Yes. I want to go to the castle so bad.
England's probably on the top of the list because not only do you have Whitby, which is the goth capital of the world, but you also have the Abbey where Bram Stoker wrote Dracula. You've got Jack the Ripper, the London Dungeon, London Tower, the Tower of London. So many things in England, and you can go there 3 or 4 times and not hit all the haunted locations, like the Derby Gaol, which is the jails of Derby. And there's just amazing places throughout England. So that's the second go-to. After the 25 years of doing Dracula tour to Transylvania, Romania, we've probably done England the most. And going in April, where are you going? In the UK. The UK is a big place. It's England, it's Scotland, it's Ireland, it's Wales.
I think last time we spoke, I think he's going to a number of places, right?
Amazing. And he's going to do ghost hunting. Is that?
Yep.
Wow, great. Spend a month. There's so many places and so much to do.
Yeah. Oh, that's.
When I was doing those trips, guys, I wasn't really part of the paranormal world. I was just a tour guide, a showman, taking people to these places, and wherever we went, we had tour guides for each place. If we went to the haunts of Lincoln, England, it was the Lincoln tour guide. If we went to Essex, Cambridge, wherever we went, I had like hosts in different places to show us around. But if I had to pick like a second or third favorite place, it was probably the years that we did the Czech Republic and Eastern Germany, because we went to Frankenstein's castle. So that was pretty awesome. We did. I think we did that trip 3 times with different groups, and just amazing stuff. It's stuff that I never thought in my life I would ever get to, and just so amazing that we're able to do that and to bring people there.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Frankenstein castle. That would have been so cool to go to. I gotta start saving up my lunch money.
Right. It's a lot of trips we gotta take.
I know.
Salem?
Yes, that's for sure. I know our team has a trip in Gettysburg next summer. We'll be in Gettysburg for I think it's July. Sometime in July, we're gonna be there for the Gettysburg Bash, which is they have an event there that's to support it's like a fundraiser to support veterans and stuff, but it gathers all the paranormal people and it's a great cause and it's a great event.
I'm gonna try to go. We'll hang out and we'll get to.
Hey, we convinced Exploring Harley, who's from Canada, to come out there. So please, yes, more people. Let's go.
Yes.
Well, they're starved for entertainment and things to do in Canada, so that's why they're coming. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah, but yeah, I hopefully next year too, planning a trip to Salem for sure. Cool. So definitely let you know if we're up north, and you let us know whenever you come down to Florida. We'll give
I won't be near you, but I'll be in Delray Beach in January. Too far.
Oh, okay. That's like that's on the other side.
Yeah, it's more Orlando. No, West Palm Beach. Yeah.
Okay. I actually think we're connected because we do a fundraiser for autism, and Surfers for Autism I think is in Delray, who's been asking us to come out there. So maybe we can arrange something.
Possible.
If you do, I'll come earlier or stay later. I'm going there because I mentioned the three things I grew up loving was Beatles, and so there's something called Beatles on the Beach. And they invited me last year to be a guest MC, and this year I'm going there because I have a new Beatles book out. So I'm going to be there in January. But if you guys can, for any reason, I'll stay.
We got to connect for sure. Maybe we'll go down for the event too. That sounds fun.
I've been talking with
I love the Beatles. I Want to Hold Your Hand is like my favorite song of all time.
All right, so I'll tell you a secret, and it has nothing to do with the show or Arts Time, but I have another book called The Book of Top 10 Beatles Lists.
Are you serious?
Yeah, you're going to have to Google that.
I'm going to have to, yes. That's my own secret. Like, well, not secret, but not too many people know how much I love the Beatles.
Well, now a lot of people know.
now a lot of people know.
Well, I'm trying to talk the promoter of Beatles on the Beach into doing Blood on the Beach. I really want him to do a horror event there. And it's such an older community that he feels they're going to like Blood on the Beach. No, the city forefathers won't ever approve of that. So maybe I'll come up with a different name and he'll do it.
Yeah, maybe St. Augustine would probably do that, like a little further up north. They would probably do an event like that for sure.
A little more haunted, yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yep, July.
Yeah, July coming up quick.
Yeah. January. Send me a message closer to the date, and we'll arrange something for sure.
Great. I'll look forward to that.
And especially if it's a Beatles event, you'll see me. You might see me there.
Yeah. I'm making a note right above my 37. I'm writing.
Yeah, I grew up like listening to the Beatles when I was younger, and it's funny because it wasn't through my parents; it was like through another friend who was like obsessed as a child with the Beatles. So she always had me listen to it, and then I became obsessed.
Wow,
it's contagious.
It is. Definitely is. But we're reaching almost the hour mark. So let's talk more. So this weekend is Salem Para Con. Want to plug it in again?
Salem Para Con at Salem State University's South Campus. And it's away from the center of town because there's plenty of free parking. And
that's what's important. Free.
It really is. Endless free parking. And it's 10 a.m. till 6 p.m. or 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. general admission. And stop by and say hello. Tell us that you saw it on the show. If someone comes by and says they saw it on the show, I'll give them a free gift.
Oh, nice. Awesome. So you hear that, everyone? Make sure you tell them if you see it through here. Definitely. Awesome. Well, no, it's been great having you on. I really look forward to hopefully connecting with you in person.
Yay.
Next year, I think you'll see us there at the Paracon.
Yeah. And at Gettysburg.
And at Gettysburg, if you go.
In November. Perfect. And we'll stay in touch. I thank you so much for having me on. This was so fun. And so, I was able to talk about a lot of the stuff that, is important for promotional reasons, but it was just fun. It was like, sitting around in our living rooms, just chatting. That was great.
I'm
awesome.
glad. I'm glad. Well,
thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for coming on, and yeah, I hope you have a great event this weekend. I'm really looking forward to hopefully attending, maybe vending, who knows, next year we'll see, connecting in January. Let's see. Corey Horry says, remember to stay this Saturday, unfortunately, but hope to see you one of these days, Charles. Awesome.
Yeah. It is, right. It's Veterans Day here also, yeah. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Joseph. Hi, guys. Thank you so much again. We'll see you. We'll stay in touch.
Yes, we'll
Bye,
see
Charles.
you guys. Thanks. Bye.